So, in this passage from Jeremiah, the Lord calls out the shepherds of his people, the lords of the flock, those who have been dominating his people using coercion and violence instead of being the faithful stewards of God's people that they are called to be. And what a great juxtaposition between the prophet Jeremiah and Jesus calling out the hired hands of God's people, people who don't care for the sheep. And ultimately, what we are called to hear from Jeremiah is a call to, in a sense, I guess a way to apply this message is, in a sense, all the things that are dear to us, the things that we want out of life, are going to, in the end, can be taken away from us by death. So let us use those things with which God has blessed us in order to care for others, to be a good shepherd of other sheep. That all of us have a gift and a calling to care for and to be present to others, even if it's simply through being prayerful and being present. We are called to give that gift of time to others, to give the gift of our attention to others, because our time and our attention will easily be taken from us. And so, in a sense, if we try to hoard our time, our attention, our money, our love, anything that's important to us, if we try to hoard that and take it from others, we become like the false shepherds, the hired hands, the lords of the flock that Jeremiah condemns. Instead, we are called to lay down our lives, our psyches, right? We're called to lay down the things of this life and share them with others, so that we can with them be called into the one flock under the one true shepherd, who gives his life for us, who pours out his blessing, who does not hold back the life that he shares with the Father, but instead pours it out upon all of humanity. And we're called to imitate that generosity and that servanthood of others. A reading from the prophet Jeremiah. You therefore shall prophesy against them all these words, and say to them, the Lord will roar from on high, and from his holy habitation utter his voice. He will roar mightily against his fold, and shout like those who tread grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth. The clamor will resound to the ends of the earth, for the Lord has an indictment against the nations. He is entering into judgment with all flesh, and the guilty he will put to the sword, says the Lord. Thus says the Lord of hosts, see, disaster is spreading from nation to nation, and a great tempest is stirring from the farthest parts of the earth. Those slain by the Lord on that day shall extend from one end of the earth to the other. They shall not be lamented, or gathered, or buried. They shall become dung on the surface of the ground. Wail, you shepherds, and cry out. Roll in ashes, you lords of the flock, for the days of your slaughter have come, and your dispersions, and you shall fall like a choice vessel. Flight shall fail the shepherds, and there shall be no escape for the lords of the flock. Hark, the cry of the shepherds, and the wail of the lords of the flock. For the Lord is despoiling their pasture, and the peaceful folds are devastated because of the fierce anger of the Lord. Like a lion, he has left his covert, for their land has become a waste because of the cruel sword and because of his fierce anger. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.